There's two third world debts commercials that I really love. Is the toilet, the little boy drinking water out the toilet, because the fact that knocked me out, I think before you do anything, you always start by investigating the facts. And the fact that knocked me out was we flush our toilets with cleaner water than third world children drink. We wash our cars, we water the plants, but we flush the toilets with cleaner water than they drink. So then we did that ad with Bob Hoskins as the VO. And that's a great case because the youngster who wrote that, Jim, I can't remember his last name, but little Jim came around to me and said, I've written this ad and we've got Peter Gold to shoot it, but I want Bob Hoskins' voiceover, and the account men won't approach him. So I gave the little Jim, I gave him George Lois's book, and I said, read that and tell me if you think you need account men to do it for you. And that night he read all of George Lois's book, and he came in the next day and he said to me, I've read George Lois's book and I've phoned up Bob Hoskins and he's going to do it for nothing. And I thought, there you are, Jim, you don't need anybody else. And so on that ad, you've got Bob Hoskins doing the voiceover for free.
Did you know that each year 5 million little children die in the third world from drinking water polluted with faeces? Now you do know. Are you going to write to your MP and ask why we now give only half the proportion of aid to the third world that we gave 10 years ago? Because the government won't do anything unless they think the voters care. You aren't? Well, if you don't mind little black children drinking out of a toilet, you won't mind little white children drinking out of a toilet either, will you? Or is there a difference?
The other one, that I love a lot, Gilbert and George, I love Paul Arden a lot. Paul was mad as a box of frogs, but what Paul always loved was, what are you not supposed to do? And that used to be what real creativity was about. What are you not supposed to do? Not what am I allowed to do? What am I not supposed to do? And I thought, well, the one thing I've never seen, and you probably never would say, is a turd in a commercial. Ain't going to happen. And I thought, well, all right, let's see if we could make it happen. Let's see if we could put a turd in a commercial. We've got a start point, which is we flush our toilets with water cleaner than they drink. And isn't that shocking? So if you see a picture of a turd in a commercial, you'll be more shocked than you will by a little child drinking dirtier water than we flush the toilet with. Now, that's what's really shocking. Gilbert and George, I know, use turds in their pictures. So let's start with the Gilbert and George picture, and let's have Ken. And Ken was great. Ken Livingstone was great, because Ken was really up for anything that would get him into trouble.
This is one of Gilbert and George's naked shit paintings. Some people find the representation of a turd shocking. They don't find it shocking that there is more goodness, more vitamins, minerals and protein in a single everyday turd than a starving third world child gets in a week, or that millions of children are dying because they don't even get as much goodness as the everyday turd that we flush down the toilet. UNICEF estimate that 500,000 little children die each year as a result of the third world debt. But people find the picture of an everyday turd more shocking than the fact that our 4 biggest high street banks make millions of pounds of profit from these deaths. Maybe people treat children in the third world the same way they treat their turds. They pretend they don't exist.
People are shocked that Gilbert and George would put a turd in their pictures, but they're not shocked at the fact that a third world child drinks dirtier water than we flush a turd down the toilet with. And they're not shocked by the fact that the turd we flush away has more goodness than a third world child gets in a week. Don't you think that's something we should be shocked about? And Paul Arden loved it to bits, and Paul shot it for nothing, and Ken did the voiceover for nothing. And that's when you feel you get the point of what creativity is. Let's find out what we're not supposed to do, and let's do that. Not for no reason, for a reason, but it forces us to push the boundaries, rather than just we'll all sit here and wait until we do what we're allowed to do, and then we'll call ourselves creative. When we started it, Oxfam told us the reason they wanted something done was nobody was talking about it, nobody knew existed. And now, what I know is all the banks have divested themselves of all their third world debt. And it's not a problem anymore. Did we do that on our own? I very much doubt it. Were we part of making people aware of that? Very possibly. If I was a planner, maybe I wouldn't believe anything until I'd read 14 case studies on it. All I know is we don't do that. We kick someone in the bollocks and make something happen. And if it doesn't, we'll do it again, and we kick someone else and we'll make something else happen. What we do is we provoke. We don't sit around and write case studies about what other people are doing. We get on. That's why we went to art school, to do stuff. If we wanted to write about other people doing stuff, we'd have gone to university.